We're loading up AAA today. Gonna play with some Torterra and a bunch of other guys that I haven't used too much in the past, except for this Great Tusk set, which is definitely my favorite Great Tusk. My opponent here has Chinchino, which is pretty rare in this tier, but they don't have a lot of points, so I don't know what to expect if we're being real. Normally I would just be able to set up, I think, with Stamina Primarina, but they do have that Meowscarada, which is going to be annoying. So I'm not sure what to make of that. Great Tusk actually looks pretty decent in this game, except for Gliscor. We'll lead off with Roaring Moon. When you don't know what to do, lead off with the Roaring Moon. Now this is AV Moon. Hopefully we can live a alluring voice if that's what they decide to go for here. But they actually decided to go for Scorching Sands, which works out really well for me. So my opponent's team definitely looks pretty scary, but if they don't really know what they're doing, then that will definitely help me out. And they go Quaquaval here. But on this, I can just go into my Primarina because I do have the stamina. As they are Libero, which I don't think is the best way to run Quaquaval in the AAA. If you want to use that, you should instead run... I should have just Drain Kissed. You should run Magikarp Wave Crash, I think is the better way of doing things. Here I can just Will-O-Wisp. Technically, I don't think they're going to stay in, as they decide they do want to stay in, I suppose. That worked out for my opponent, but I figured, you know, this is a poison type, this is a fairy type, you don't want to stay in. But I want to get rid of that guy. Because now, what do you do against my Primarina? Chinchino is going to give me all the speed boosts in the world. We've already seen Quaquaval does not threaten my Primarina. And even our Chaladon is going to have a bad time if I get a couple of Calm Minds up. Actually, I'm going to Draining Kiss once here, just so I can get a bit of health. I could go Arc Chaladon right away, as they do. And I don't know how much I'm going to take from like a Steel Beam or something. I think it's safer to just go into my Roaring Moon to scout what they want to be. Because they were Iron Head, which means I absolutely could have stayed in with my Primarina. But now that I know what they are, I'm going to go into Great Tusk. There's some kind of weird mixed set. I really don't know what the heck that's about. I'll go into my Weezing, I guess. I'll go for Aura Sphere, showing off all the moves. I'll just go for the Destiny Bond. Not gonna go for the 6-cell, there's no reason to do so. We'll go back into the Primarina here. Ready to go for Chinchino. Chinchino can have Encore, so I don't want to go for the setup. And the setup here in this case doesn't really help, I don't think. Also, that Trailblaze did a lot, I'm not gonna lie. So being healthy is good. But it's gonna do subsequently a lot less. And at this point, I'm sort of wishing I had a water move for Gliscor. But I don't really know if Primarina can fit such a move on this set. I guess you could drop Substitute, but you really do need a Psychic move for Petulant, I think. But what do I know? Alright, I'm actually going to Calm Mind a couple times, or just once, I guess. Just because Gliscor could be annoying. It probably outspeeds me. Okay, it's only Toxic Spikes. Okay, if it's only Toxic Spikes, then I don't have to be worried. But if it had gone for Toxic there, then I wouldn't have wanted to stayed in and gone for Substitute or something, right? I guess I could have substituted in front of the Quaquaval. Maybe that's what I should have done instead of Calm Minding there. That would have made a lot of sense. But this game is over. I'll look for another one. All right, and now we found an opponent that has a full Paradox Pokemon team. Okay, I don't think that's the strongest, but it is sort of an interesting team concept from, you know, there's always the people who say, oh, well, if we didn't have Quirk Drive, what would we give all of these Pokemon? I'm going to give Earth Eater to Iron Treads. I'm going to give Desolate Land to Iron Moth and whatever, right? Sharpness on Iron Crown. Or Iron Boulder, I suppose, maybe you would do. But yeah, that's probably the kind of thing that they're doing here. I don't know. I want to lead off with Golden Go. And I'm just going to throw off a Shadow Ball here. This is a Hadron Engine, so it is not... Excuse me. So it is not Magikarp, right? Because Magikarp Iron Crown, I think, is pretty scary. Also, Tinted Lens is scary. But this Hadron Engine's set, not as scary, in my opinion. We could have a good amount of damage on it. We'll be able to two-shot that. And now I can just go into my Roaring Moon. To be honest, this Iron Crown really isn't a threat because I have this Scarf Golden Go and I have this Roaring Moon. But if it had been Spec Steel Beam, then it would have actually done a decent chunk of damage. So that's why I was willing to stay in there. Now this Iron Jugulus could go for some kind of Hurricane or Earth Power. Work Up is interesting. Just gonna throw off the Stone Edge because I can. And Earth Power doesn't do any damage. I could technically go for Knockoff here, predicting them to go into Treads, but I don't really want to do that. I sort of think I need this, and I'm just going to go hard into Great Tusk. I don't want to deal with any shenanigans. And here I'm going to just go for Body Press, because I want to see what they do here. Iron Moth can be Earth Eater, Iron Treads can be Earth Eater, and even Iron Hands can be Earth Eater. So the fact that they're switching in the Iron Hands on me, to me suggests that that's what this is. Now, if I go into Big Wheeze, I should be able to tank any hit. I'm just going to throw off a Will-O-Wisp. They should always go into Iron Moth, but we don't know how my opponent wants to play. So they go into Iron Crown, which is fine too. I'll go into Roaring Moon this time. And this gives me a free knockoff on something. If they go into Treads, that will get knocked off, which would be really good. If they go into Hands, I will also take that. And I will say this is sort of an annoying position for me with the Future Sight. And I can't stay in and take this. Oh wow, they switched out. Which means that I can go into Golden Go, I think. I should live the Future Sight. Just barely. And they died a burn. If they had stayed in and gone for Drain Punch or Ice Punch, I would have had to have made a really scary decision there. But because I was able to scout with U-turn and they decided to switch for some reason. Imagine if I had stayed in and gone for Knockoff again. I guess at this point you know that I am not choiced. But if I'd have been crazy and gone for Knockoff, then I would have stayed in and taken no damage. I don't know about that switch. I think they were in a commanding position with their Iron Hands, and they didn't need to switch, right? Ice Punch, Drain Punch, both pretty free. And I'm gonna play this like that Iron Hands is Earth Eater, because I'm pretty sure something on this team has to be Earth Eater when they have 5 guys weak to ground, and Iron Hands is a good contender for that. You know, maybe the Iron Treads is bulletproof or water absorb, who even knows. Now they have been knocked off, so I won't get anything for this. But just the fact that now this is locked in, I think is really nice. And I'm actually going to go into Torterra now and try to take advantage of this. We are Wind Rider, which will not help us in this instance, since we should outspeed the Iron Jugulus. Let's look at this. So if I'm +2 against Iron Treads. Let's say they are Regen Vest. Are they? Did I ever do damage to this guy? Let's just double check. Let's go back here. Okay, so Treads took 5%, which means it is definitely Regen Vest. Or at least it's regen of some sort. So then I can just go for the Earthquake. There's no reason for me to worry about it. So I don't know if they were trying to bluff there or if that was just a sack. That might have been a sack. Here they will obviously go for the Ice Punch, right? So I'm gonna go. Oh, they went for knockoff. Oh no. Yeah, they went for Ice Punch. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna sub up. Then I'm going to Calm Mind up. Yeesh. This actually went for Earth Power there, which lets me live. I don't know if Hurricane would have been a 2 KO, but it might have been. And so that actually is really nice. Here, I'm just going to go... Well, do I need this anymore? I don't think I need this anymore. As they went for Solar Beam. But like I said, I don't need this anymore, right? I could have gone there hard into Roaring Moon, and that would have been fine. But I do need the Roaring Moon. So here I'm going to just go for U-turn. Because I don't want to let the Iron Hands be freed up. And it's super obvious that they're going to go into the Iron Hands. Now... I can go... I'm going to go for Bulk Up once, in case they decide to go for Ice Punch. Then I'm going to start Rapid Spinning a couple of times, because what I don't want them to do is be able to go for free into Iron Moth on my Bulk Up again, yeah. And so now that I've done that, now I can just Bulk Up once more, and I'm going to click Body Press. Right, obviously, at any point I could have scouted to see if this was Earth Eater, but it was pretty obvious that it was Earth Eater. So no point going for a ground move into it. Not only are they playing it like it's Earth Eater, but from just looking at their team standpoint, it's pretty obvious that it would have to be Earth Eater. So, Torterra could have done more, I think, but I don't know. Let's go back and look at this just to see. Yeah, I retreated here because they went into Iron Hands. And Iron Hands is sort of scary, but let's just look at this for my own edification. Iron Hands. Let's say this is Earth Eater, almost any ability. Yeah, see, Bullet Seed would not have 59 to 72 on 4 hits. So I am glad that I retreated there. I think that that was a risky play that I did not need to make. And now we're facing a Zapdos and a Zamazenta. We've got Primarina on the team for Scrappy Zamazenta, and Golden Go is passable into it as well if it's not Scrappy. And so we have some options here. But the Zapdos, the goal here is to get set up with Torterra on Zapdos. Or that's what we want to go for here. Gonna lead off with the Roaring Moon. I'm just gonna click Earthquake here, because I don't want the Tinkaton to be able to go for some tinted lens nonsense. So getting off this amount of damage this quickly is really nice. Now I can just click Shadow Ball here. If they aren't expecting the Choice Scarf, then they'll stay in. Now this Choice Scarf set is usually adaptability, but I'm running Earth Eater just because the team sort of needed it, especially before this Primarina was a Revivirm, and the team absolutely needed it at that point. Okay, let's Draining Kiss here. Okay, now it's sort of worked out, but they're probably gonna go into Crown here, right? So maybe worked out a little bit less than I would have liked. They go for Expanding Force. Okay. This is a little bit of an issue, I'm not gonna lie. Just gonna throw off another Shadow Ball here, though. They go to Cinderace. They're gonna go for Sucker Punch. Are you a Suckerer? No, you're not. Okay. So that's good. Get the Cinderace out of the way. That is a problem for the Torterra. And now they're going to Zamazenta, which is a little bit of an issue. We're going to Weezing here. And they are probably scrappy. I'm going to click this Prankster Will-O-Wisp. That'll protect from Heavy Slam a bit. And now we will click Destiny Bond, which actually I will absolutely take my Weezing for this Iron Crown. I think that's definitely a trade worth making. Now I'm gonna go into, yes, this is exactly what we wanted. And now I Shell Smash up on the Hurricane, and we are Wind Rider. It's a really cheesy set, but really anytime that you have your Zapdos, you have to respect it. And we're ending it off on that, right? I know we're sort of low ladder on this account, but I've been running this team in the 1400s and it works fine there too. Zapdos, such an annoying Pokemon, and that's why we're running Wind Rider. I'm the I don't know if I was the first person to ever conceive of Wind Rider Great Tusk, but I have my name on that set. There's a few sets that are out there in the community that have my name on it. That's one of the ones I'm most proud of, is the Wind Rider Great Tusk. And now I introduce to you the Wind Rider Torterra. Zapdos is a fantastic Pokemon in this tier, but because it's so good and because it's so prevalent, it's pretty easy to plan for a situation like this. And if you're the opponent, you need to respect that I know that Zapdos is in the tier. So running a ground type with Wind Rider, it doesn't even need to be Great Tusk or Torterra. Obviously both of those really benefit from the Wind Rider because one, you're gonna want to use Hurricane on me because I'm weak to it normally. And so now I go from being weak to having an immunity to Hurricane. But also, just generally any ground type that has Wind Rider will pretty much check Zapdos. Now, if they have Weather Ball, then of course Weather Ball does a ton to Great Tusk, and so I think that's one of the reasons on a Primordial C set specifically to run Weather Ball on Zapdos. Roost is great, but you need to be able to touch the Wind Rider Great Tusk. It's just that they're not that common yet because people haven't really switched over to running that. And of course, Weather Ball doesn't let you touch Iron Treads anyway, so if they're bulletproof. So that's really the reason people don't run it. The No Guard sets, I was running a lot into those the other day, and that's one of the inspirations for me going for this Torterra set, because I was just getting so tired of the No Guard, Zap Cannon, Hurricane, and of course this Torterra will not appreciate Heat Wave. But how many people are going to go for a Heat Wave Zap on Zapdos when they can go for Hurricane? They're always going to click that button, pretty mindlessly too. And being able to have now another attack boost, and now I outspeed. I do have to run Jolly on this set, just so I can outspeed stuff. And it won't outspeed things like Scarf Roaring Moon. And that's one of the reasons why Scarf Roaring Moon is one of the best Pokemon in AAA, because it just says, hey, you set up, I don't care, I'm faster than you, and I'm still gonna kill you because I'm stupidly strong. But aside from stuff like that, Jolly will outspeed pretty much everything you need to. And you have the loaded dice, so you don't have to worry about random Focus Sash, Poltergeist, or anything like that. And so at that point, you just have to deal with like Sucker Punch from King Gambit or Destiny Bond from a few prankster guys. It's pretty good. So definitely give this set a look. But that'll be it for me today. I'll catch you guys next time.